This is going to be a documentary of sorts, detailing an unusual experience that I've had unfold in the last 2 days. To give you some background, last night, on October 19th, I went to see JP Saxe perform at the Fonda with a couple of friends. Whenever I go to the Fonda, I always have the same parking spot that I use. It's next to the Hollywood Dome. It's very convenient for my motorcycle. It feels safe, so I generally will park there whenever I head to the concert. And that's what I did. When I got back to the bike after the show, there was an unusual piece of paper tucked underneath my little phone holder thingy. This is what that paper looked like. It was just tucked like this. Obviously, it was left so that I could easily find it, and this is what the inside looks like. This is where it gets kind of weird. You have a man's driver's license photocopied. You have his name, current address, a previous address, and then a social security number. There's nothing else on this piece of paper. I show this to my friends, and when I get home, I decide to do a little digging, and I'm like, let me try to see if I can find this person so I can tell him, hey, your personal information is out there in the wild. So how do you normally try to find someone on the internet? Obviously, just a Google search. I put in this person's first and last name. I'll just call him John Galt. And I get no results. So I proceed to try to go search on LinkedIn because I don't have a Facebook. And lucky for me, I actually find someone who looks just like him and has his first and last name. Also, the general city of where he's supposed to live. So I'm pretty sure that this is my guy. So I decide to text him because I find his phone number underneath his LinkedIn profile. And at midnight last night, I sent him a message. So I hop on LinkedIn, and this is where I go look for this person. The only information I really had was his name and his picture off the driver's license. And I pretty much found him immediately. So looking through like his work history and everything, I noticed two things. One, he provided a phone number and his contact email. And then his most recent work experience was at this company or like this organization for a neighborhood like association. So I decided to do a little bit of digging, and I went to the website, and I just wanted to like see what it looked like. My very initial impressions is that there's nothing too exciting about this website. But scrolling down on the left-hand side, you can see that under recent comments, there's some pretty interesting kind of content that's there so far. So digging a little bit deeper, I read this person's post, which if we scroll up to the top, we can actually see that this was made in 2008. Just to preface, the writer of this post is not the John Galt that I mysteriously found like information about on that purple piece of paper. I live on Hartford Street in Eureka Valley, aka the Castro, with my partner John Cruz and our 4-year-old daughters, Zola and Veronica Crucial. Hartford Street is a quiet little residential street just steps away from the hustle of Castro Street and the bustle of Market Street. I love living here. I window shop for real estate porn at Hearth Realty. Our bank at Wells Fargo, the most gay-friendly bank I've ever been in. The underwear I buy at Ingenious Lounge makes me feel sexy. I feel virtuous shopping at Under One Roof. At Superstar Video, I rent movies the whole family can enjoy, as well as ones just for John and me. And finally, I love seeing children in the neighborhood. My block has 10, with more on the way. I love seeing multi-cutie, tutti-frutti families coexisting with traditional ones. Toto, we're not in Kansas. Walk by the playground at Eureka Valley Recreation Center on a weekend and burst with pride at the diversity. So my internet snooping did show me some kind of like odd ties to this man, but nothing itself was like too weird. Until he started texting me back. The conversation starts off fairly normal. I ask him to confirm that he is in fact John Galt, based off of the phone number that I found online. And once he does, it gets a little weird. And just to call out, the first thought that came to mind was for me to FaceTime him to physically show him the purple piece of paper that had his information on it. Then the stranger says, "Not now, I'm camming," which if you don't know what camming is, that generally refers to cam models, which is a form of sex work where people will perform, they'll strip or they'll dance for tips or for money. Which I feel like that's quite the odd thing to say to a complete stranger that you know absolutely nothing about. The man is extremely forward, and I respond in quite the bold manner, almost accusing him of doing it himself. But it's when I say that there's like very specific details that are public, like his, driver's license and the social security number, then he actually finally responds back. Let me read this last portion. I shall. Thank you for letting me know. Could you scan it or take a picture of what it is you found? Not clear if it is something that was part of an application I filled out, or if someone got into our files, electronic, or more horrifying, files at home and made copies, but have since lost or discarded. The worst of all, if it is a flyer that someone made and was distributing around, there's one person that I regrettably know who would do such a thing and had access to such documents. Thankfully, I have very good identity theft insurance, so they're going to handle it. A lock is on my credit. Thank you for taking the time to find me. Please send over images of what you found, where exactly, etc., as both insurance and the police will want it. It's already been several hours, so I don't expect him to respond any further. Anyways, that's the story. I don't believe he'll actually be messaging me any further, but I sent him what I knew, and we'll see. Kind of an interesting situation. Thanks for following along if you followed along this far. Bye.